Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Worldology, and today's video is going to be the October 10th full release. Still a odd release or a scary release, and should be pushed back. So my reason why to make this video is because there's a lot of stuff in this game that's looking like it's going to be a 2042 release, but it's not necessarily as bad as 2042, right? Because the game is miles better than 2042. But this video should still be made because obviously there are a lot of bugs that make the game fun, but there's also bugs that make the game really terrible, and also the additions they add into the game to help players, win in gunfights where they're not supposed to win in gunfights, right? So this is going to be a light-hearted video because, it's a lot of things that can be fixed in the game. And if they don't fix it, I necessarily do not see why they cannot fix the issues in the game. But there are issues in the game that, the developers actually notice and realize, and they said it was going to be fixed in the first place. So, my answer to the questions, whoever, have short-term memory or have, you know, instant gratification, I think the release on October 10th is probably good. It's probably good, and it should probably stay at October 10th. So, therefore, all your instant gratification players out there who like to play videos and just watch short short form stuff, right? So, for all you who want to watch the longer term videos and why, like, I have this type of, satisfaction on having the October 10th release, and also a little bit of dissatisfaction for the stuff that's in the game and should be fixed, I'm gonna talk about it right now. So, as we all know, that the bugs in the game is very heavy, right? There's a lot of game breaking glitches, like getting out of the map. Like, I think it was one that you can get out of the map by just walking on like a railing and getting on the bridge and stuff. It's outside the map. It is a cool thing to get into the map. Well, cool thing to get on a bridge and know that we can fight on a bridge, but it's not necessarily good for the map because we're playing in a different environment, right? So yeah, it's game breaking glitches like that. And then there was a noticeable cheating scandal that people can actually, see hitboxes and ESP every single time that, you're walking around and you haven't even probably noticed like I haven't. So there were some type of BS kills that I've, died to, and some kills that some people killed me, some 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 of the kills that some people did to me on this game was kind of fishy, right? And I was like, oh, is it necessarily them being good, or is it just me having bad awareness, or just some other stuff? But it's like low level people who have no movement and just doing this type of stuff, like knowing where I'm at soon as I peek around the corner or something like that. I know I do the same thing, but it's because I have experience in this type of game style, and I know how to hear my footsteps and also know the type of routes in the game. Even if the game isn't finished, I'll still read you. So enough clowning around and being arrogant, I guess. Still, some stuff in this game does look a little fishy, right? And that's thing is solved, but turn a secure boot on and then people still being able to cheat in the game. Yeah, it is a fishy aspect of why do we need to turn it on, right? Like, yeah, it's probably like a BIOS thing. Somebody can cheat the BIOS. I don't know too much, but you probably can cheat the BIOS because it's in the BIOS, and you can probably cheat the BIOS in the whole way anyway, and put like, scripts and stuff in the BIOS. It's possible, but that the developer said it was going to be fixed, and you know, it's it doesn't really need to be announced because it's the beta anyway. And yeah, it's that for the cheating stuff anyway. So the next thing is the shotguns and the weapons. So the weapons are the gunplay is very beautiful. I like how they did the gunplay. But I think it should be a little bit more spread and a little bit more burst to the, gunplay in the game. Because there are some guns that is very laser beamy, like the AK. It's trash, but it still has, you know, 2042 style of, you know, cone of spread or, shooting, right? It doesn't have no cone of spread, and the cone of spread is fake because, it's going to the person and then it's spreading once it hits the person, right? So I think a little bit of more bursting fire should be implemented into the full game of Battlefield. And the gunplay is still good, still a good thing, and the shotgun should be nerfed. Developers said that they are going to fix it probably in the next beta patch. When today is the break of beta, right? Of the beta, so we'll see in the next week of the beta if the shotguns will be good in its own way. Yes, the shotguns were working how they supposed to work, but shooting from one shot or two shot from 50 meters away or 70 meters away without slugs or anything, or out without slugs, yeah, without slugs entirely, yeah, that's kind of OP because shotguns don't work like that in BF4 unless you're close quarters like lockers or Operation Metro. Yes, then those shotguns will work in long ranges like that because you're in a short, narrow path and you can use the shotguns of the spread effectively, right? So I think that's better in the sense of nerfing shotguns to maybe a three or four hit range from 50 or 70 meters. And then if you have slugs, maybe two or three if you can hit above, you know, the belt and chest level, or if you have, let's see, slugs you can hit one shot in 20 or 30 meters. So yeah, I think they're doing a good job with fixing that. And then the movement in the game. The movement is they have it down packed. It's like BF5's movement. BF5's movement was the best like modern movement in the Battlefield franchise, and they also have a little bit of BF4, right? So yes, it is a little clunky, but they still have it down packed. The game's not finished. So if they smooth the game out, the optimization, I'm gonna talk about that in a little bit. Again, they smooth if they smooth the movement out, make the movement how it is right now, but make it a little bit more optimized and not be glitchy. You know how you seem to, I'm gonna talk about that too, but just have it more smoothed out. So I'm going to talk about that right now. The animations and how the people look in the game. So the animations is very good. They look like BF3 level with a BF3 or 4, and have 2042 add-ons to it, of course, like I said last time. They have they have bugs on the way the characters move, and it can be a little eye-boggling, and you have to like track the movements of like somebody sidestepping you, and they have like a shadow or motion blur when they move, and then their body's glitching and stuff when they're moving. So yeah, that should be fixed. I know it's not the full game, of course, so that can be fixed. But the animations in the game is looking good, and they can make it down packed. It's not necessarily bad. So yeah, the animations in the game is good. It does make people look like they're bots and stuff like that. So I think like I know I keep advocating for Hardline, but Hardline to me had the best animation style because they built off of BF4, and BF4 already had a good animation style. BF3 BF3 had, it was built from BF4, and then BF4 was, built and Hardline built off of BF4. So I think Hardline has the best animation style of running and, you know, getting out of dodge or stuff like that. I know I might be wrong, but who noticed any animation styles except from BF Hardline, BF3 to BF Hardline, or anything about, you know, animations? We only know about BF5's movement. Well, yeah, that's the mechanic, but we don't talk about how good the game looked. Like BF1, yeah, but we don't talk about anything about how the game looks and, you know, the character level. We only talk about, you know, the atmosphere and the immersion of, you know, how BF1 plays, right? And how it looks. So yeah, the incendiary grenades, you know, they should fix those. They even made them worse than hardline grenades at that. Incendiary grenades, you know, it's the hardline incendiary grenades blow up soon as you get hit by it, causing you like 75 damage, and then it burns you and then you're dead instantly, right? So I think if you have worse grenades than hardline grenades in BF6, because it slows you down and somebody can just run around the corner and kill you and then get out and dodge, right? If you have worse grenades than hardline, then there's something needs to be fixed about that. So, hey, the grenades are OP. They should be toned down a little bit, 25% of, you know, damage if you're going to slow the person down. But in the meantime, don't even worry about taking down the damage. Just remove that effect of slowing down. Because, you know, nobody's going to stand still if you're getting flashbanged or, you know, flamed on fire. Somebody's going to try to move when they're flashbanged or burning. Because, you know, we see it all the time in movies, right? The game's not real. The game's not real life. So that's why I'm quoting the movie and the game at the same time. So don't worry. Don't worry. I don't know what people be doing in real life because, you know, God forbid me being in there, right? So, in that sense of the game and everything in the game, the gunplay is good, the weapons look good, the weapons feel good, the UI needs to be changed a little bit. Yeah, the UI does need to be changed. It still looks good, but you know, you need to make the mini map bigger. You need to add mini map, you know, make sure you can have a bigger mini map because looking down can be a little confusing when you're in a moment, and when you're in a moment you can't really look down because it's so much going on in your face. So you have to take some time to look at the mini map and then you're dead because the TTK is high. So one Reddit thing, it said that, of course I already knew this, that the BF4's TTK is like milliseconds faster than maybe like a cool 40 or 50 milliseconds faster than, you know, BF6s. So I think the TTK, it can be a little bit adjusted because BF4's, you know, TTK was heavy, it was fast. But if we're going to have a nice skill gap in the game, the TTK should be BF4's level because BF6 is, you know, a little slower than BF4's. But we just have to wait and see how the game is optimized and how everything is played out. But how everything is played out with everything being destroyed and chaos and, you know, more urban like, then I think the TTK should be a little higher and it should take a little longer. So yeah, that being said for the video, that I don't think that the TTK I meant not the TTK. I don't think the the October 10th release is necessarily bad. If they're not working behind the scenes on premium, they said it was going to bring premium. We already know that from the leaks and stuff that they have premium because they have the symbol of premium. So, and they brought premium in 2042. So if they're not working behind the scenes on maps and stuff like that, we already know we're getting like 9 maps in the base game. So just know that if the stuff is working how it's supposed to work in Battlefield, then I think everything will be fine. Majority of the things in Battlefield is just the bugs that and tweaks that should be in the game, right? So that's my final say for Battlefield 6. And if the October 10th release is good, yes, I think it's good. And if they work very hard, then it will be perfect for the release. Because since everybody, 500,000 people, literally playing the beta and been playing for the majority of the beta, right? Majority of the games, the highest, I mean, like maybe, I can't even say 40 times. I think it's more than 40 times the players that been on one single Battlefield game, right? Because it's usually 12,000 players on Battlefield, and they're separate from Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5. So it's above 40 times people that was playing the beta, because it's 500,000 people, right? So I think since we all know that, oh yeah, sniper glares, fix the damn sniper glares too. So yeah, again, final say, the wait between October 10th and today, August 10th, is that it's going to be a big wait time, and we know that the game is good. So yeah, get on the ball dice. Y'all have a good release date, and y'all could potentially make that 100 mil. Who knows? 500,000 people playing concurrently. Hey, y'all have a chance. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say for this video. Hope you like, share, hope you like, share, and subscribe. And hey, we're back in Battlefield, and it's gonna be a good journey. So be sure you can follow my Twitch, my Kick, YouTube, wherever you want to see my live gameplays. And hey, just know that there's going to be a good show for Battlefield 6. And that's all I'm gonna say. I'm out.